The war involving Iran began on February 28, 2026, when the United States and Israel launched a large-scale coordinated air assault on Iranian military and nuclear targets. Nearly 900 strikes were carried out within the first 12 hours, killing senior leadership figures, including Iran's supreme leader, and destroying key infrastructure. Iran responded within hours, launching missile and drone attacks across the Middle East targeting U.S. bases, allied countries, and Israel. The conflict rapidly expanded beyond Iran's borders, drawing in regional actors such as Hezbollah and escalating into a wider Middle East war. The conflict did not begin overnight. It is the result of decades of tension between Iran, the United States, and Israel. At its core, the war is driven by three key issues: Iran's nuclear program, which the U.S. and Israel view as a global security threat; Iran's regional influence, including support for armed groups across the Middle East; the collapse of diplomatic efforts, particularly after the failure of nuclear deal negotiations. Tensions intensified after earlier clashes, including a short but destructive war in 2025, economic sanctions, and internal unrest inside Iran. By early 2026, diplomacy had broken down, and military action was chosen over negotiation. The war has unfolded in multiple phases: massive retaliatory strikes across the region, attacks on oil infrastructure and shipping routes, especially the Strait of Hormuz, escalation involving proxy forces like Hezbollah, widespread civilian casualties and displacement. Missile exchanges continue, with hundreds launched in coordinated attacks, signaling that neither side has secured a decisive advantage. The consequences are already being felt worldwide. Energy crisis. Iran's disruption of the Strait of Hormuz, responsible for about 20% of global oil supply, has triggered a sharp rise in fuel prices and fears of recession. Economic shock. Supply chains are strained, affecting industries from agriculture to technology. Humanitarian crisis. Thousands killed, millions displaced, with children among the hardest hit. Travel and trade disruption. Flights halted and shipping rerouted across the Middle East. This is no longer a regional conflict. It is a global economic and security crisis. The outcome remains uncertain, but several scenarios are emerging. Prolonged war. Continued escalation could draw in more countries and deepen global instability. Negotiated settlement. International pressure may force a ceasefire, though no clear framework exists. Regime shift in Iran. One of the stated or implied goals of the initial strikes, but highly unpredictable. Long-term economic fallout. Even if the war ends soon, oil markets, supply chains, and geopolitical alliances may be permanently altered. The bottom line: this war is the result of long-standing geopolitical rivalry, failed diplomacy, and strategic calculation. What began as a targeted military strike has evolved into a multi-front conflict with global consequences. The fighting continues, and while leaders suggest an end may be near, the reality is clear. The effects of this war will outlast the battlefield.